Oh shit! Oh, Alex! Fuck! Wake up, dude.
Yeah?
Dude, we fucking overslept,
Son of fucking overslept. What do you
dude.
mean, dude? Watch the Y2K
No,
video,
no,
partied a little
no, no,
bit.
no, 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 no. We really like literally fucking overslept. It's March.
Okay. It's March. You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
We've
Scratch.
we've been sleeping these past 2 months.
Yeah, dude. Scratch the Y2K video. We can't do that anymore.
Okay. How about what was the Bloody
No, no,
Valentine?
no,
Did
no,
we
no.
want to
We've
do
already
that?
passed Valentine's Day too. I told you it's fucking March.
Fuck. Okay. Is, oh man, is Nosferatu still relevant? Is that on? That's on Peacock, or is it on Peacock?
I mean, today's St. Patrick's Day,
What
but
if-
fuck St. Patrick's Day, we could do it.
What was? It's on Max. Hey everybody, welcome back to Terrorvision.
We overslept.
Whoops.
We overslept on you guys.
Whoops.
Sorry that we promised you a fucking New Year's episode. No, and technically we didn't. Because I didn't really give a fuck about you guys. No, I'm kidding.
I think our exact words were we'd be back in the new year. So
yeah, like earlier in the new year, like I said, like mid-January or so, but that never fucking happened.
Oh yeah, that was unrealistic to believe in the first place. So that shame's on you if you believe that.
Yeah, you guys got to stop believing in us.
No,
like,
yeah, it's.
I don't even know why you guys are still here listening to us. But
I've been at least 15 minutes late to damn near everything I've tried to go to.
he was literally like almost 30 minutes late to this recording, so.
Well, in my defense, the cats knocked over the water bowl, so I had to clean up a bunch of spilled water on the floor.
Yeah, blame it on the fucking cats, why don't you?
I mean, unless you knocked over my water bowl, I'll blame it on you.
My cats knocked over my water bowl, so I missed the Y2K video.
I spent the last 2 months cleaning it up.
But yes, welcome back, everybody. It's been a fat minute. I'm Justin,
And I'm Alex.
So yeah, we were gonna do like a New Year's special. We were gonna do a Valentine's Day special, and we both said, "Nah, fuck that. We need more time."
It wasn't. It's not even that.
Supposedly.
We kept trying to coordinate, but it just never linked up, and then we'd forget about it. Like I think there were a few times. There were a few times where you and I were both like, "Does this day work for you?" And we'd be like, "Yeah, that day works for me." And like, cool, all right, I'll see you on that day. We'll record. And then the whole day goes by, and the next day we're like, "Oh shit, we were supposed."
Literally, okay. So yeah, as Alex said, we would plan a date to record, and then we're like, cool, let's do it. That day rolls up, and then I remember specifically last time we were supposed to record, I messaged you and I was like, hey, free to record whenever you're ready. And then like literally half the day goes by and he's all like, oh shit, I just saw this.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Anyway, so we apologize that we missed New Year's and Valentine's Day, but we hope you guys had a good both holidays ? We also hope that you enjoyed the rest of your, holidays from last year, even though I said that millions of times last year.
And the holidays from this year that we missed, especially.
Yeah, and the holidays like in the future too, like that we haven't even come to yet.
Also likely will miss.
But not Halloween. We can't forget that.
Oh god, we better start prepping our Halloween video now at this pace.
Literally. So since we missed Y2K and we were gonna do Y2K for New Year's, and then we were gonna do My Bloody Valentine for Valentine's Day, but we pretty much just said fuck that. Today we are going to be reviewing 2024 Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. It just came out on Max.
I watched it on Plex because my friend downloads a shit ton of movies that I can watch, so...
On Plex? What's that? Is that like a piracy site?
Kinda? It's all... I mean, you can stream movies and TV shows and such, but he kind of...
I see.
Pirates movies. So
I see. It's just like a free streaming service with ads. I got you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, we're gonna be reviewing Nosferatu since that's kind of hype with today's horror. With these little gens. What is it? Gen Z now? Gen X?
No, man, I'm Gen Z. Fucking.
What's the new one?
What's
I
after
forget
Gen
anymore.
Z? Generation Alpha.
Ew.
Those born between 2010 and 2024. Oh shit, 2024. Okay, well, what's after Gen Alpha? What's now? Gen Beta. Oh my god.
Ew. I hate that. You know, when you said those names, it made me think of like furries. That's all I thought.
Yeah,
of.
no, that's what I'm thinking. Can you imagine being part of Alpha Generation Beta? Like,
that's disgusting.
Shut up, Beta.
Shut up, Beta.
God, the power complex these fucking Gen Alphas are gonna have. That's crazy.
But since last year we didn't really do a lot of today's horror, we thought we would spice it up a little bit today in this episode and actually do a horror movie from literally last year. So, or kind of today, because it's still pretty popular today. So,
Like not even a couple months ago. Yeah.
Nosferatu is a 2024 horror mystery film. It's about 2 hours and 12 minutes, directed by Robert Eggers. IMDb gave it 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 84%, and I wanted to add this in because I thought it was funny. Letterboxd gave it a 3.7 out of...
You're joking. You're joking. No way.
I was all like, I love these like high scores from like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, and then there's Letterboxd.
Out of 5, dude.
Yeah,
out of 5. Letterboxd does it out of 5.
True. But, like, that still seems low, you know? Like, and so, like,
that's
accurately. Well,
no,
I mean,
man,
it's in between.
What is that? 74%? 74%? Yeah.
I don't know.
So,
just
like,
3.7 just made me laugh. I was just like, at first I read it wrong. I was just like 3.7.
No, me too. You threw me off with that, man. You threw me off with that.
But anyways, yeah, they're all pretty good scores. But yeah. I think 3.7 was a very funny, accurate number. So.
Yeah, I mean, I liked this movie. I'd agree with that. Without getting too much into it, all of a sudden, I feel like this movie had its head up its own ass just a little bit and like trying to be like super artsy and, you know, profound and stuff. But no, yeah, at the end of the day, we watched it and we were like, yeah, that was all right. That was good.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a 7 reaction.
I personally thought it was a really good movie. Like, it kind of was more classic horror than anything, and that's what I appreciated about it.
Definitely. No, I definitely appreciate the aesthetics, especially the just kind of like gothic. I don't know. I really liked the vibe of this movie. Let me ask you real quick. How do you know about how long your version of the movie is?
Probably 2 hours and minutes.
Okay, so we might have watched the extended version as well because when we watched it, we accidentally watched the extended version on Max. It was like 2.5, 3 hours long, and we were checking our watches at least a couple times throughout that. Actually, I think we had to split it up and watch it into 2 days because we like fell asleep halfway through.
Yeah, it was funny because I watched it. I actually split it up into 2 days too because I stayed up late watching it, and I was like, oh, I'll pick it up tomorrow, and then I woke up in the morning and then finished it. I'm probably gonna try soon, just actually sitting down and fully watching the movie because it's actually a good movie. I did enjoy it. So.
Oh wait, hold the fuck up. The extended cut is only 4 minutes longer.
Whoa!
Are you fucking with me?
So extended.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, what the fuck?
Holy fuck!
we were watching it, dude, and we were like, man, I was like, the pacing, like, I was like, it's not bad, but it's slow and boring at times. I was like, I bet the pacing is better in the regular version. I was like, there's probably so much like
that extra 4 minutes made the pacing
that
very
extra
slow.
4 minutes really killed it for me. Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine like the extended version was just like 4 extra minutes in the credits? But yeah, Yeah, I don't know if I watched the extended edition or not, but yeah, no, everything about this movie was really cool. I loved the dark gothic setting of the movie. I loved how classic horror it was, like very classic. Everybody, like actor and actress wise in this movie, did really good, in my opinion. I think Lily Rose did awesome. Bill Skarsgård did a phenomenal job, especially with all the makeup and the prosthetics he was wearing. I couldn't even tell it was him. Willem Dafoe, and then yeah, a couple other people. I thought it was really good.
So I'm gonna be honest, dude. I think I might disagree with you a little bit on that. I think I don't want to say anything about Bill Skarsgård's acting because realistically, he was in about 45 seconds of this movie, so I feel like it's kind of hard to judge him on that. I don't think he did a bad job acting wise. My problem with it is that Nosferatu, Count Orlok, was just not scary. Like, I'm sorry, he was not. He was an old guy. Like, he was an old guy with a mustache and an accent. Like the Count Orlok from the original, like 1922. That motherfucker gave me nightmares. That motherfucker is terrifying. Are you kidding me? And like, I don't know. I don't think this Orlok looks bad, but he's not scary. Like,
Well,
anytime he was on screen, I was just like, oh, okay.
I honestly liked his design because, like, at first I was kind of skeptical about it when I first saw, dropped photos and shit about him.
Right.
And I was all like, why the fuck you got a mustache? But
That's what I'm saying.
I started appreciating it a little bit more because I think what Robert Eggers was trying to do was trying to kind of like, I don't know, he's from Romania, right? Like Count Orlok. So I think they were trying to go with more of like a Romanian kind of style for his character and kind of keep it in that kind of like era. So I don't know. But like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the original Nosferatu is creepy as fuck. Like,
no, yeah, which I mean, you're right. Like, if the idea was to go for a more realistic, grounded, like if Count Orlok was real historically, what would he have looked like? Yeah, in that case, 10 out of 10. I think they did a great job. Like, yeah, if Count Orlok really existed, like, in that time and place, like, that's 100% what he would have looked like and sounded like. Like, that's spot on. But as someone who sat down to watch a horror movie, I was so disappointed with him. Like, every time he came on screen and he'd be like, I want you to bounce on it.
Bounce on it, doggy style.
And like, that's one thing I really liked and appreciated about this movie is they really kind of nailed the subtext of Nosferatu. I know probably 90% of people who are familiar with Nosferatu haven't really seen the original 22 movie. I think that's when it came out, 1922. I could be mistaken.
Wasn't Nosferatu a silent film?
It was, yeah, it was a silent German film.
Yeah.
But the main subtext of that movie had to do with like Count Orlok's not necessarily just an evil like Dracula type, I just want to eat everybody type vampire, right? He's very focused on this Ellen character, and there's almost a romantic connection between them due to her like maybe not self-esteem is the right word, but she definitely has some kind of issue with either her self-image or it might just be like a straight up mental issue. But either way, they nailed the subtext of there being this woman who needs some kind of attention or help, but everyone around her refuses to actually give it to her. And Orlok is the only person who seems to pay her any attention, be it negative attention, but they nailed that subtext of her needing something and him being the only one to give it to her, and her being conflicted between like, this is kind of exactly what I want, but also like, he's trying to eat me, you know? Like,
right.
And so I think they did a really, really good job in nailing that complicated relationship that the two have and the themes of the movie. But No, man, I just wish they made it scarier. I was just bored throughout a lot of the movie. Oh, and the other, you mentioned the acting. Like, yeah, Willem Dafoe, great job. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I loved his character.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. There was this one time where he was listening to Willem Dafoe's character and the other like investigator guy. I forget his name or the actor's name, but they were talking and they were like piecing shit together. And Aaron Taylor Johnson's character was just like sitting there watching and listening, and he just goes, "Capital. Absolutely capital, gentlemen." I had me cracking up. His delivery of it was just so good. But no, I loved him. The one actor that I did not really like in this movie, like at all, and maybe that was the point, was the love interest, Nicholas Holt's character, Ellen's like fiance. Oh, dude, I just did not. I don't know, man. I didn't vibe with his acting. He didn't sell it for me.
I don't know. I thought everybody equally did a pretty good job with this movie, in my opinion. But you know, this is what reviewing movies about is about.
Definitely, no, definitely. But here's the thing:
you that you're wrong. No kidding.
Well, here's why you're wrong, and your opinion is in fact invalid. No, but like, but my thing is, let's take like the whole like first half of the movie, right, where Nicholas Holt's character, the fiance, he essentially gets this job from his boss to go try to like sell a house to Count Orlok, basically, or castle or whatever.
Right.
And so he spends like the first half of the movie at Count Orlok's like mansion, and like his acting and everything about his character during that portion is telling me that he is like mentally distressed, like he's being traumatized, he's being tortured. There's all this like crazy fucked up shit going on. And like, I'm gonna be honest, he's selling it. Like he's shaking, like he looks visibly horrified.
Yeah.
But there is not a single fucking goddamn thing in that entire first half of the movie that warrants that kind of acting. And I guess maybe it's not on his part, because I guess he was acting what they wanted him to act perfectly. But like sitting there watching this, right? I'm watching this guy like damn near shit his pants and piss himself every time he opens his mouth or anytime he's on screen. And like nothing happens. Like, yeah, there's this creepy old guy who's wheezing, but like he's a little creepy, but that's what I'm saying. Like there's a huge disconnect between his performance and what's actually happening. And I feel like that is an issue that really only pertains to his character. And I don't want to put the blame on him, Nicholas Hoult, the actor specifically, because it's very possible and even likely that the director or whoever was like, hey, we want you to really sell this, you know? And if that's the case, I think he did a great job. But there is, for me at least, there was a very like strong disconnect between any time his character was on screen and whatever else was going on. Like, I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson's character and Willem Dafoe's character, like even Lily Rose Depp's character, they all reacted like relatively appropriately with what was going on. But I felt like when he was on screen, he just dialed it up to like 14. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I didn't really notice it, to be honest with you. I thought, like, you know, like I said, just to re-release the first album I dropped, I think they all did pretty well with the acting. So
I'm gonna start using that. I like that.
I think I don't know. I think everybody played their part well. I think
sure.
This movie, like all the actors, I think even Nicholas Hoult, I thought he did amazing in my opinion. But I wouldn't say he was the best in the movie. But I honestly really think Lily Rose Depp killed it in this movie. I feel like she was.
Oh, for sure.
I felt like she was the best. Besides her, I would say probably Willem Dafoe. I thought Willem Dafoe did fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously she's the main character, but she was the star of this movie, like for sure.
Yeah.
Her performances and a lot of those monologues she gave, or just like the scenes where she's like freaking out, like that all of that shit was actually creepy and like really good. That was the kind of Freddie, you gotta leave me alone right now, dude. I'm recording. Go away.
Motherfucker.
Thank you, Freddie. No, yeah, Lily Rose Depp's character, she killed it. She killed it. she was the one that put genuine horror in the movie. I feel like I don't think Bill Skarsgård, and again, when I say Bill Skarsgård, I don't mean him specifically. It could have been his acting or the directing or even just the way that the direction they decided to take Orlok in this movie. But I didn't feel any horror from Orlok in this movie. Maybe except for like the like 2 shots where he's like slurping people's chests.
Yeah.
That shit was a little creepy. But I feel like 99% of the time of the horror I felt from this movie when I was like, oh shit, like it was her. It was her on screen doing something. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. So yeah, no, she nailed it. She was by far probably my favorite part of this movie.
I
Absolutely.
loved the scene where she starts freaking out and, you know, starts like, you know, fucking ripping her shirt, like,
yeah,
and fucking what else? Like the whole eye rolling and the tongue sticking out, drool and all that shit.
And she looks at her fiance and she's like, "You could never please me like he does." I was like, "Damn, damn."
Why don't you come down here so I can suck your cock, pretty boy? But yeah, no, yeah, Lily Rose did fucking phenomenal in this movie. I honestly think Bill Skarsgård did pretty good with bringing horror in this movie. I felt like there was I mean, there wasn't a lot of Orlok scenes, but that's what I loved about like the suspense about it, of, you know, Orlok not being shown like too much. Just kind of like building that suspense, you know, more and more with Orlok's character. But yeah, I thought he did pretty well with bringing, like, you know, the scare aspect into this movie. Like, there was definitely some scenes where it was like not even anything like crazy with him. Like the whole scene where Nicholas Holt's character is like, you know, in his, you know, castle, and you know, they're just like, you know, talking and trying to like sign the forms or whatnot to like get the, you know, whatever, the lease for like the house or whatnot. And he's like in there cutting the bread and he accidentally cuts his finger, and then like just all this other, like the whole like introductory with Orlok's character and the castle with his character. I don't know. It was just that whole, how do I put this? It made me uncomfortable, like watching it. Like it gave me like that uncomfortable feeling, and that's what I really liked. You know, that Bill Skarsgård kind of brought, you know, as Orlok, because like I said, he's not doing anything crazy, but just like his demeanor that he put towards this character, and just like the presence he gave in that whole sequence was just like, you know, kind of disturbing. So
yeah, I don't know. I hear you. I felt personally, I felt that scene was a little cliche. Like when it happened and he was like cutting it, I was like, he's gonna cut his finger and the fucking vampire is gonna be like, like, and of course it happened, and I was like, yep, there it is. I was like, classic.
Take it in yourself.
Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with referencing like a classic scene. Like, it's a vampire movie. Obviously there's going to be a scene where someone pricks their finger and the obvious vampire is going to be like, you shouldn't do that around me. Like, but I don't know, man. I just like, I hear what you mean. There was definitely a palpable sense of tension in that, but I feel like the tension, for me at least, was never really broken. They say a lot in horror that like less is more. Like if you've got like a scary monster creature, right, and you show them at the very beginning of the movie for long enough for the audience to get a really good look at them, it's not gonna, like, you can't do a big reveal with that. You know what I mean? You've already revealed the monster. They know what's up. And so definitely, like, you want to do what this movie did and build up your monster. But I also felt like this movie, like, I never got that reveal, you know? Like, Alien, for example, I think is a really great example, because the alien isn't actually in the movie a ton, but there are a good amount of scenes where you get good, clear imagery of the alien, like, killing someone. And I feel like I never got that here. And then when I did, I was so distracted by his big, goofy mustache. I just wasn't even concerned.
I honestly, okay, so...
And I don't mean to rag on him too much. I was just disappointed with his design.
I mean, from what you were explaining earlier about like wanting more of like a better surprise and build up to like, his character, I kind of agree with you on that bit, because I feel like they showed like because they showed Orlok's character pretty early, like before
Mhm.
like the halfway point of the film, where
Mhm.
he's trying to stab him in his coffin, and you get like a really good look of what he looks like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I if they could have kept it a little bit more or a little bit longer of just this dark silhouette and just only showing like
Yeah.
close-ups of his the eyes and just his just keeping it very ominous for a little bit longer, I felt like it would have been a better build-up. But honestly, I still
Yeah.
thought it was great. I still I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
I totally agree with you. Like you were saying in that scene when they opened the coffin and like they're about to stab Orlok, that was great.
That was
That
amazing.
looked awesome. Like he looked scary. Like that was what I wanted out of Orlok. But instead they got him fucking covered head to toe in fur most of the time. That he just looks like Santa Claus practically. Like, yeah,
Oh,
he's a zombie vampire, but you can't see that shit if he's burrowed under 30,000 layers of fur and mustache, dude. Like the old most Nosferatu, like, and I don't mean to be that guy to be like the original, but like
Alex, you are
he was
being that
slim.
guy.
He had like this creepy ass trench coat. He had these long pointy ears and like I don't know, man. Like he was horrifying. He was terrifying, and I
Well,
was
yeah.
excited to see that.
I felt like they did a good job, like, kind of disguising that he was, a vampire
Yeah, if
at
that's what they were
first.
going for. And you know what? I think because that coffin scene, that was what I was looking for. That I would have been like, yes, that's Orlok. That's great. But like we only really get that one or two shot of him like that. Like 99% of the time he's on screen, which is again like 3.5 minutes maybe. He's like dressed up, and it's hard to sell it when it's like you just put this big, I don't know, Romanian dude in front of me.
I mean, as much as I would love to see more of, like, crazier, creepier, Orlok,
Mhm.
like in that coffin scene, and then, like, probably, like, towards, like, the end of the movie where he's, like, also naked, or,
Yeah,
his
yeah,
true
yeah. That
his
was cool.
form.
That was cool.
I kind of just liked, the pacing they did with him, because then they didn't overdo it to where it was
Hmm.
just like, eh. I liked the little, bits
No,
here and
absolutely.
there that like it was, crazy, because it just, built up more of a surprise. So,
That's a very fine line to walk between, because yeah, absolutely. Like you need to show your monster, but you can't show it enough that your audience is desensitized to it. So it's a
right.
very fine line to walk between building up the suspense and imagination for your monster and then actually revealing it. And yeah, like this movie definitely could have teetered the other way, right? Where like Orlok took up too much screen time and we got too acquainted with his face,
Right.
and then by the end of it we're not even concerned that he's drinking Lily Rose Depp dry. Like
And that's why I kind of appreciate the horror in this movie, because like they didn't like overdo it, and it's still stuck to more of like, classic horror suspense of that build up. And it was like, I don't know. I just
I think
appreciated it. So,
I think I agree with you. I think like given the choice, like if I were like at the helm of this movie and they were like, "Hey, do you want us to show Nosferatu too much and desensitize the audience to him, or would you rather us work with the suspense and the build up and like use the audience's imagination, right? Like I would definitely lean more this way. I would rather them go this route than the fucking I don't know, I can't think of a good example right now. But the other route, where they
yeah,
just show him too often and he just stops being threatening. So
right.
I do appreciate that they leaned more towards this side, but still, that being said, man, I need some more vampire in my vampire movie. That's
Yeah.
just me though.
You're like, I want to see him sparkle.
But either way, like I do think almost everything else about this movie worked. Lily Rose Depp's character was awesome. She was creepy as shit. She said a lot of creepy shit. Her acting was creepy. Like she nailed it. She nailed it. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I just loved his character. I loved his facial hair. It was always fun to look at. He always had something funny to say, and I feel like he was a pretty goated character. Like, yeah, there were a couple times where he was like, "Ah, shut your mouth, woman," but that was about the extent of it. He was like, "Oh, this woman needs help. Okay, come live in my house with me and my wife and children, despite how dangerous you might be to them."
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty goated behavior, IMO.
Yeah, no, I feel like everybody did justice in this movie, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
also gonna add, like, even like with Bill Skarsgård and his scenes where with the actual killings he does, when he's on the it was either on the bed or on the floor with Nicholas Holt's character while he's just
He's on the
fucking
bed.
sucking him dry. Like, fucking that made me uncomfortable. Like, I was like, ugh.
Hated that. I hated that so much in a good way.
Even
In a good way.
I did kind of laugh when, well, it was pretty crazy at first when he was like, pretty much killing the daughters, like the young girls.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
That shit was
wild.
But I kind of laughed when he just pretty much yeeted one of the girls across the room or just dropped her. He was just like, I'm done with you.
Have you seen House of the Dragon?
I have not.
Oh man, there's a scene in House of the Dragon that's very similar to that. It's all about like kings and queens and political drama, but there's a scene where the queen goes to like check on her two kids. She's these like two kids who are like very similar age to those two girls. I think one's a boy and one's a girl. And she goes in, and there's these two assassins in there, and the assassins are trying to kill the prince, but they can't tell which of the kids is the prince or the princess. And so they grab the mom and try to like force her to tell them, and then they like start.
Oh God.
Oh, dude, it's graphic and fucked up, but like that was what that scene reminded me of, and I liked that.
Yeah,
I
no,
liked
that was a big jaw-dropping surprise when I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that
yeah.
scene, because like, there's already the suspense building that they're screaming in their room, so she's
Yeah.
like going in there to go check on them to like see that
Yeah.
they're getting fucking mutilated.
Yeah, and here I go with that dead horse again, but that was what I wanted more of Orlok to do. I wanted him, like I feel like this movie needed more scenes of him honestly just going around and terrorizing random people. Like he shows up to London like halfway through the movie, and it's a huge deal, and they're like, the plague is here, like people are getting the fucking plague, but he doesn't really do anything. Like, yeah, he kills the two little girls for why does he do that again? Is there even a reason?
Well, because Lily Rose is dead.
Oh.
Because she denied of
Right. Because
like,
they were
being with him.
harboring her, and she was like, "I'm gonna kill everyone you love."
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much for denying like being with him. So he's like, you got
Right.
2 or 3 nights to
right.
be mine, or I'm gonna start killing everybody off that you love
Even-
and that are close to.
Even still, dude, I think it would have been cool if like we got some scenes of him just killing random people in cool ways, or like maybe she wakes up and there's like a pile of dead bodies at her door or something. I don't know, like something, man, something. My fucking ADHD gamer brain needs some stimulation.
I would say there was quite a good amount of kill counts he did. Not a whole lot, but there was quite a bit that it was pretty cool. Like even in the ship, when he was out of the box that he was being transported in, and he kills one of the sailors like from behind and like pretty much like rips his fucking neck off or whatever. Like that scene was pretty.
Did
cool.
we see that, or was that off screen?
No, we see it.
We see it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
maybe I
like-
just don't remember it.
Yeah.
I do remember the scene you're talking about where it like flashes and Orlok's behind him.
Yeah.
I remember that being off screen. I could be wrong though. I smoke a lot of weed, you know that.
I really loved the scenes with Orlok too, where he's just sitting somewhere like in the box that he's being transported in, or like in a dark area, and his eyes are like kind of like luminescent, to like almost like
glazed over.
Yeah, glazed over, like night vision, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like those scenes were like creepy too. Like I really loved those scenes, especially with how Bill Skarsgård does like the fucking eye thing that he does, with Pennywise. It just made it like 10 times more eerie. I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, yucky.
I really liked all the shots of just the box honestly, when they're like transporting his body. I thought it was no, like I thought it was creepy as shit.
I know.
Like
I
the
just
zoom in on this box and just knowing that his like corpse is in
yeah.
there or something. Like I just, oh man, like
No, yeah,
that was
definitely.
cool. That's good suspense. But
I just thought of it just like my favorite character in this movie was the box.
my favorite character was the box, man.
Like it just did such a good job.
No, but like hear me out though, right? Hear me out though, right? Like so Orlok, he gets in the box, right? The box gets on the ship. What if we just put a lock on it? Problem solved.
Problem
Movie
solved.
over. Credits. Yeah. Throw a padlock on that bitch. No more Orlok. Yeah. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I didn't really pay attention to that as much, but you know, looking back at it from you saying it, like, yeah, that was definitely like some creepy, you know, kind of scenes, or just that feeling of knowing, just like, oh yeah, there's that box right there that he's being transported in is fucking dead, fucking
and or just
dried
for
up
me,
corpse.
it was trying to imagine how his body was like in there. Like I'm because like it wasn't big enough for him to just be laying down, right? It's not a coffin, so he's in there like a fucking Family Guy character, you know, like sprawled on the ground, like arms bent and shit.
Yeah.
And, like just trying to imagine that, you know, like I got X-ray vision. Like that was creepy. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I liked it, man. It was a good movie, but like, I mean, that's all I've talked about this movie is just this episode is just I thought it was kind of slow and a little boring, and I wish Orlok was creepier and did more. But you know, like for a slow burn horror like timepiece movie, like yeah, this was cool. Well, maybe watch this again once before I die, maybe.
Tisk, Alex. Fucking that gives a big old fucking I honestly fuck what Alex said. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck Alex.
I agree. I mean, not agree, but I see where you're coming from. Like I agree with some bits of it that like the points that you're trying to make. But you know, besides, you know, Alex's opinion, fuck your opinion. No, I'm kidding. I adored this. Not adored. I can't say adored. It wasn't that like that phenomenal. But I adored. Kind of fucking stupid ass. I really appreciated this movie. Is what I meant to say. I thought it stuck to, you know, just the base of classic horror. Thought it had great suspense. The pacing was good. It wasn't too slow to where it was boring. Like I was pretty, you know, glued onto this movie, even though it took me like, you know, 2 parts to watch it. But yet again, I was up very late and getting tired. But if I were to actually sit down during the day and watch this movie like through start to finish, I'd be glued onto it still. Like it was very good with its pacing. Wasn't, you know, slow in my opinion. Stuck to the good, you know, classic horror kind of vibe. Suspense was good. The horror in it was really cool. Gave me like very uncomfortable, eerie feelings, and that, you know, slow build. I don't know, and everybody did great in this movie, like acting wise. Like everybody did a phenomenal job. So this movie was definitely, you know, a good one for me. Like for its time. Like, well, for its time, like, and what I mean for its time, because
December 2024.
Yes. Well, because I feel like horror movies today just have been so shit lately, and there's like nothing good to watch anymore. That's why, like, you know, when we record episodes on this podcast, I like to lean more towards like earlier movies from like 2000s or, you know, 90s or shit, because I feel like today's horror kind of sucks, but I feel like we should start recording more today's horror so we can just shit on it more. But
no, yeah. I hear you. I was gonna say, when I was talking about it leaning on the fence between or walking the line between showing your monster and not showing your monster, and I said I would have I prefer that this movie stay on the side that it did of not showing the monster. And that's exactly why, is because I feel like almost every modern horror movie goes completely in the opposite direction of showing your monster constantly, which is cool. But not as effective for actually scaring your audience. Like, I know we talked about Evil Dead Rise on this channel, and I loved that movie. I thought that was a great movie.
Oh,
But
yeah.
what's her name? The Deadite mom. She doesn't have nearly the same stage presence and horror effect that Count Orlok does in this movie, right? And that's specifically because they build up the tension with him. Like, your imagination for the first half of this movie is the horror, and that's good. And there's nothing wrong with Evil Dead Rise. Like, I liked that movie, and you know what it did was great. I don't think it would have benefited from like trying to hide the mom and like build up to her. Like, that's not what Evil Dead is. But you get what I mean of like, for a movie like this, like, yeah, I think they did a good job trying to establish his horror. I personally just wish there was more of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I understand, but I mean, like I said, I thought it was.
Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing one last thing. They used this way too many times in this movie to the point that it was actively frustrating me. I don't know if this is a power that this Count Orlok has, but for some reason, almost every single character like has a scene where they encounter something spooky or supernatural, and then they just wake up in their bed the next morning. But it happened, right? Like, there are like, I can count at least 4 or 5 times that happens in this movie, right? Where Nicholas Holt's character like goes out and all these people are doing this ritual and they stab the corpse, and then he wakes up in his bed and he's got mud on his boots and all the people are gone, and he's like, what happened? Was that real? Da da da. And then fucking Elaine has the same thing, and she's like, oh my god, I had this dream of Laura, like, and like it happens so often. Like, it happens so often that characters like just wake up the next morning in their bed with no explanation. And I like, a couple times is fine. A couple times for
Well, I feel like that was pretty much
like
Count Orlok's kind of like, you know, power of his like scare ability was just to.
But
not
that
pull
one
like a
time I
Freddy
was talking
Krueger
about,
vibe, but like, you know, kind of just scaring them in dreams or like these
I
so-called
guess.
dreams.
But like, that's like, what's his name? Nicholas Holt, when he saw the ritual of the people stabbing the body or whatever, that was before he even met Orlok. Which, I don't know. I guess he was manipulating them from afar anyways, but
The land is cursed, Alex. The land is cursed.
the land is cursed. Yeah, no, anyways, I did like this movie, but I do feel like
Clearly,
7
me
out of
and Alex
10
had different
is
opinions on
pretty
this movie,
warranted.
but and overall, I think we would both say that this was a pretty good movie for being a newer film.
Yeah.
A lot better than most of the films
I think
that
it's
have been coming out. So
I think it's a step in the right direction for modern horror. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just adore that modern horror's trying to bring back this kind of. I like the direction that they're bringing back with classic horror. You know, bringing
Yeah.
back that classic horror in today's horror. You know,
There is a small part of me that's like, it sucks that it had to be a reboot. You know what I mean? Like, there is that part of me that's like, enough with the fucking reboots and sequels. But at the same time, like, neither you or I would have gone to watch this movie if it wasn't one.
right?
So like, we're part of the problem, but I don't know. Anyways,
Oh, well.
That's neither here nor there. That's not the point of this video.
I mean, I have to watch horror movies. It's my. I can't stop. Yeah, no, I thought Nosferatu was a great
good.
film. Alex thought it was good. Alex has invalid opinions that I don't really care about. Not kidding.
Damn, you sound like my mom.
You sound like my dad. But yeah, no. I would definitely watch this movie again. It was good, and you and I are gonna have to start following up with more today's horror. Not that it's gonna be as good as this one, but I want to start shitting on more horror.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Nosferatu. It's on Max. And what was it on for you?
Plex.
Tubi or Plex?
Tubi.
Okay.
Not
Yeah, you don't know
Tubi.
about Tubi?
Let me see if I can remember to say this since it's been forever. For more updates on our podcast, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Terrorvision with Justin Alex and Terrorvision Podcast. Yeah. Maybe?
Yeah.
Facebook at Terrorvision with Justin and Alex, and Instagram.
If that's wrong, go look at one of our other videos. We say it right on the other ones.
And Terrorvision. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Terrorvision. Justin.
Terror! Hello!
Alex.
Yeah.
Ah!
And this is Terrorvision with Justin and Alex.
I want you to bounce on it. Crazy style.